It seems as the hours go up, it seems as time progresses, it seems that the more and more that I focus on all the things that I want to get done, it just keep on happening. Yeah, they're asking, hey, some law, okay, what's going on now? Seem like you're all over the place. All I'm doing is just being a reflection. All I'm doing is actually just showing and proving. Just doing it by any means. And when I say doing it by any means, I mean the music that I listen to, the chords, the strings, the sounds, the musicians, the energy that comes from certain types of music as well. And yo, man, listen, I mean, everybody know I do rap, I love R&B, but everybody know how I feel about Pink Floyd, how I feel about Metallica, how I feel about AC/DC, how I feel about Roger Waters and the whole Pink Floyd experience and the Beatles and Jimi Hendrix and all these phenomenal artists that come along. Now, with all due respect, I never got the chance of sitting down with any of them and interviewing any of them. But I do get the luxury of interviewing the new sound and music, the new wave of rocks and new wave of grunge and that sound and that. When you hear them chords, you know that it comes from a specific place. Raw and authenticity. I'm here in the studio with one of the members of what I'm broadcasting today. The group is named SINICYST. And if you don't know, now you know. I'm in the studio with AJ. We call him AJ. You call him AJ. And we're here live on set with Irv. And we're going to be talking about a little bit of what AJ got to say. Some Law, AJ, SINICYST, 2025. We are here. Ow!
You're damn right.
See, the whole entire world can shut down, and you have to ask yourself, are you still able to do the things that you love to do? And I ask all my peoples that question. If the world shut down, if COVID happened again, are you going to be able to still do what you have to do? And surprisingly, a lot of you won't, because a lot of you are scared to actually tap in. And that's the reason why I'm sitting here having conversations with only mastermind-like individuals who love and able to do what they love to do. See, if the world shut down right now, everybody that I know is going to be able to pick up a pen, write on some paper, pick up a guitar, pick up a string, pick up any instrument and be able to create and be able to sustain. And a lot of you realize that you are part of the 95%. And what's the 95%? Oh, you know what the 95% is. The 95% are those who are the followers instead of the leaders. And as I continue to just kick it with those who are part of the 5%, without further ado, phenomenal artist, creator, musician. You only seem to be getting better, man. And you've been running New York City for a little bit on the low.
You gassed me up, man. You talked me up too much.
You've been, y'all guys been running New York City a little bit as well.
Trying our best.
You talk about trying. Ain't no trying. You definitely got my attention. You definitely got me in a couple of spots. Got me down there getting my clothes pulled on and whatnot. You know what I mean?
I damn sure hope so.
AJ, what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for being live on the set, man. I really, really appreciate this.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yo, you are a phenomenal artist, man. Without further ado, if you don't mind me asking, just I have an idea because I know you as a musician. Mm-hmm. I know a little bit of your background, you know what I'm saying, as far as family upkeeping and whatnot, but they don't know.
Right.
They don't know. Yeah, so who's AJ?
AJ. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I was always a creative. I mean, my mom would tell you that. Everybody would tell you that. You know, I started with drawing. I quit that real quick. I realized it was pretty hard to draw. But in high school, I think I got more of an affinity. I started caring about things more. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And the thing I started caring about was I found out about a band called Iron Maiden. I picked up the bass. So, anybody who knows heavy metal knows Steve Harris is the greatest bass player of all time.
Them boys ain't nothing to play with, you hear me?
You're damn right. Yeah. So I went to my first concert of all time when I was 15. It was an Iron Maiden show.
That was your first one?
That was my first concert I ever been to. I
Really?
went to see Iron Maiden at Barclays Center here in Brooklyn.
Really?
Yeah, in 2019. And, nothing's been the same since then.
Nothing been the same, I can imagine.
We had COVID. It gave me a lot of time to practice.
So you was able to tap in because the whole world shut down. So you had no choice but to just...
Well, to be honest, I was practicing OD even before the world shut down.
Yeah,
I was in my room
man,
just kind of cooped up in there 6 hours, just bass practicing and all that. So I was already workaholic. But then the world shut down. There really wasn't anything to do.
Were you one of those artists who come from the Guitar Hero video game era?
Funny enough, no, I didn't really grow up on Guitar Hero. I thought it was kind of stupid, to be honest, because I was like, well, if I wanted to play Guitar Hero, I'll play guitar. And that's what ended up happening, you know? So I picked up the bass first. And when I was 16, I picked up guitar. And that's how it's been since then. So I was like, more strings, more notes, more better.
So Iron Maiden, and then what happened? See, listen, okay, I'll tell you this. I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan. Anybody who know me know that I'm Pink Floyd. I hate the fact that David Gilmour and Roger Waters don't see eye to eye. I hate it to this day.
It always happens with great artists.
I know, right? It does. With great bands. With great bands, always happen. That's why shout out to Slash, because Slash always redefines himself. But I use that as when I went to Roger Waters, this is not a drill with the misses. Shout out to Roger Waters, one of the fucking best ever. I can only imagine what it was like to be in audience with Floyd. So though I went there and I showed my boy Chris, he's an older guy, right? He's seen Floyd before. I've never seen Floyd on stage. So he says, oh, that's good. You was able to see one of the band's members.
One of the band members, yeah. It's a tribute band, really.
I said, fuck you, man. You're crazy. Listen, but...
That's how I felt seeing Pantera.
But the performance was crazy. It was crazy. It makes you wonder if all five were there.
I know.
I mean, all members, period, because it is 5 members.
Yeah, the same thing happened when we saw Pantera. They came to MSG not too long ago.
Okay.
It was their first show playing MSG. They never played MSG their entire career.
Really?
But 2 of the members are dead. So, kind of posthumous, right? But yeah, when I went, we had a great time. You know, we were singing all the lyrics. We love Pantera. Really? Yeah, we were screaming at the top of our lungs. It was me, Chris, and Jorge before Jason joined. You know, we were having a blast. But,
shout out to the fellas.
What's it called? But it was something missing, man, because Dimebag was dead. Dimebag was the heart and soul of the band.
See, what's so interesting about music, I'm into everything. I'm into Gin Blossom. I'm into everything. I love music. I love Stained. I listen to all types of music. I'm more of a person because of how I was introduced to... even like in my car right now, you know, I have certain stations saved. You know, like 97.1, I have 104.3. You know, I have certain things already like locked in because of what I just listened to. I know more songs than I actually know names.
And I'm the opposite. I listen to one album for 1 month, just one album.
Like, see, I would say Roger Waters, David Gilmour. I would name certain members, you know, Kurt Cobain. I would name certain members, you know, but I never... I wasn't big on the names. I just knew
certain notable members,
or just how dope the song was, and it was like, oh, you know, you know, and then unless they was talked about. See, David Gilmour and Roger Waters was talking, like, dealing with so much back and forth. Their names was just like, it's stained in my brain now. Gentlemen, get it together. But going on, man. So you, Iron Metal, and then what? Like, what gave you that, like, your steps?
Well, I'll tell you what got me into Pantera, because that's
Cause you just
really.
picked up a guitar one day and said, "Hey, I'm gonna pick up a guitar and I'm just gonna start playing." That was the start.
I'll tell you what kind of started it. I don't know if it's exactly the breaking point, but what got me into Pantera, which became the basis for everything SINICYST related. It got me into everything subsequent. The whole New Orleans sludge metal scene, I learned about that because I knew about Pantera. They were buddies with them. What got me into Pantera, I was in high school, and I had an art teacher that used to let me park my bass in his classroom. I used to bring my bass and my amp to school and take it on the bus, and it was a whole walk home and all that. But I was dedicated, so I took it with me.
Carried the equipment.
Yeah. And he let me park my stuff in his room, but I wasn't super knowledgeable on metal, really. I knew like Metallica and I knew Megadeth and Iron Maiden and stuff. But he introduced me to Pantera.
Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath, of course. He
Who
introduced me to
doesn't know
Pantera. He used to let me play my music in class while the kids were doing the art, which was really cool of him. But then he was like, "You ever heard of Pantera?" I was like, "Nah, I haven't heard of Pantera." And he put on Walk. And my first reaction to him putting on Walk was, this song is kind of stupid, to be honest. But
Walk by Pantera.
yeah, I mean that's that's their crowd pleaser. Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit. Everyone knows
Really?
that one. If you
That's
know
a-
Pantera, you know Walk. Looking it up now.
No, well, see, the good thing about like what I was saying to you with technology is I refuse to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So my approach towards, how I connect, how I build, so many different things I know I have to do in between in order for this to work. So I'm gonna push Pantera, and oh, look at Walk popped right on
There
up.
you go.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna play a couple of tracks and we're gonna get back.
I'm down.
We're gonna play this track because I actually want to take it in to see exactly, what Walk's all about. We're live on set. While we're listening to this, check it out yourself. Check out Walk Pantera. We're live on set with Irv.
And AJ.
AJ's here for sure. So you love creating, you love music, and you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where Sumlaw comes in. These guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Sumlaw knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track. With us, there's no more struggling between wants and needs. They get what's essential so you can focus on what matters. Hey, the governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. So, photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production, Sumlaw has the experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer. Call us and take the next step to share what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you guys in the studio. Yeah, luckily we do the editing. Yeah, man. We're live on set with Irv. We're here, man. AJ's in the building with me, man.
You know it.
We're here. We're kicking it. We're figuring out. Yeah. Speaking of figuring out, yeah. What's the next steps, man? What's in store for AJ? If you don't mind me asking, I have to know.
A lot of things. I mean, I'm here making money here and there. I give I've been trying to market my services. I give guitar lessons and bass lessons now and things like that. I book shows, small venues that I got acquainted with when I was in Muerte Permanente.
Okay.
So I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I've got if people can hit me up on Instagram. I've got a whole bunch of things I do that I'm willing to offer. It's all in my bio.
Nice,
So we could
nice.
link that down in the description.
Oh, we definitely gonna put
Yeah.
this down in the description. Yeah. So you're let us know a little bit about who SINICYST is.
SINICYST. Right. Well, SINICYST has been our baby since basically fresh out of high school, since we were 18, me and Chris. That's been our thing, but it's gone through many name changes. It wasn't originally called SINICYST. We had a whole bunch of names. It was a whole process. At first, it was called Morbid Conclusion. And then I decided that's way too long of a name. It doesn't roll off the friggin' tongue like that.
Morbid Conclusion.
Morbid Conclusion.
It
yeah.
does sound pretty.
It
sounds pretty long.
It's it don't roll off the tongue. You know what I mean? You can't shorten it to anything. At least with muerte, you had muerte.
Okay, so
you can take off the permanente. Muerte.
Muerte. Is it muerte?
Muerte.
Muerte.
Yeah.
So Muerte is a different band.
That was my punk band that I was in for a little while. I got into them, I want to say 2 years ago now, October 2023.
Okay.
Something like that. And funny enough, I met the kid through Chris too. So everything's related to Chris, really.
Okay.
He hit me up one day and he was all like, yo, you trying to jam? We haven't been together in a while. We should jam. We should hang out. And I was like, yo, bet. And then he kept extending it. He kept being like, oh, can my boy come? Can my boy come jam? How many amps you have? Actually, wait, we know a studio in Brooklyn. And then the whole band was there and I jammed with the whole band. And they were like, you want to join? I was like, all right, fuck it, sure.
That's usually how it goes. That's how
he kind of tricked me into
magic
joining.
happens right there.
Uh-huh.
That's just like my boy. Like they tell me if they ever call me and they say, hey, yo, if you're able to come by the spot, but yo, if you feel like bringing your camera, I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I was 18. I didn't know that was meant to be. But
Okay.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
And that one day we jammed, we ended up writing like 2.5 songs. So I just said, hell yeah. Of course I will.
So when you SINICYST is not just
SINICYST is not Muerte. SINICYST has been in production before Muerte even began. But
So how did the name SINICYST come about?
eventually.
Yes. Besides
While I was still in
Morbid Conclusion, right?
Yeah, well, it went through a couple of name changes, but eventually we got to SINICYST because I kept thinking of, when you're an angsty teenager, I kept thinking of attributes that would describe, the kind of vibes that I'm going for in the music. Because I feel like that's a good way to name your band, Your band name should probably be emblematic of what you're trying to go for, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And so I was really into wordplay, and I decided on SINICYST because it's a combination of cynical cynicist, right? A cynicist is a person who's like a cynic, who talks down on everything. He's very negative.
Okay.
I put the S for the word sin, and then cyst is like a tumor, like it's a cancer on the world. So it's a three-way wordplay that you could only really come up with if you're an angry 18, 19-year-old in a punk band. But you know what? It's real catchy. I think it works. 3 syllables. It's on it fits on the shirt. I mean, what more you got to say? When you don't need to put 2 names on the shirt, 2 words, I think it's a good band name.
Well, shout out. So it's how many band members?
We got 4 now.
4 now. Okay. And then know that I have AJ. You said Chris. I know the names, but I mean, I could say the names, but I only met one other member.
Jorge.
I met Jorge. Yes, that's when I was calling him George.
Yep.
What a time. Shout out.
Oh, you can call him either. He doesn't care.
Yeah, man, that's my man's, man. I love you guys, man. I haven't met Jason yet.
Haven't met Jason.
Haven't met
Jason's a
Jason
new
yet.
addition. Jason is the only band member not from New Rochelle. He's from Yonkers.
Okay, shout out to YO as well. Yeah.
And Jason actually kind of has a stacked resume, so I'm kind of like, he joined without my consent, but I wasn't mad about it because Chris brought him in. And
so Chris is a shot caller.
Chris really invited
Chris is a shot caller,
Chris
huh?
hit me up saying, can we invite Jason into the group chat? And I was like, sure. And he was like, you want to join? I was like, all right, whatever, fine.
Yeah.
But he has a stacked resume. He was a stagehand for a while. That was like his actual job, going touring with bands and stuff. He said at one point his biggest show he ever worked with Jelly Roll as a stagehand. So he's actually kind of got some experience in a bunch of fields. When we put on a show in Bed-Stuy recently, he was helping us set up. He was helping. It was a DIY show. Everyone brought their own gear, and he was helping everybody set up.
And that's pretty much how I am as well. Like
He's
I
a
like
big help.
I like to be big, hands on with the equipment. My cousin would say all the time. He said, "Yo, listen, when it comes to any event, we know that you're somewhere in the vicinity."
Yeah, you would really like him. He's a big people person. He'd make a friend anywhere he goes.
That's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
So
man?
you and him would get along real good.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. I think that watching your growth and development as a music artist, it's fun also because I'm a music artist. So that's the thing where I'm always finding my balance, but then I'm also watching all the music artists and all the different things they have to deal with bands and business and contracts and bullshit promoters and the whole the industry. You say industry 5 times, you're gonna say in the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You be like,
you're damn right about that.
Wait, this event is actually taking place in the streets.
Oh man. I mean, I've been to shows at Trash Bridge. You know where that's at?
Wait, in Dumbo?
No, what's it called? In Bushwick. Okay. Actually, there's a studio we used to practice in, Muerte. And the same address as that studio, there is a bridge overlooking a garbage dump, and they call it Trash Bridge, and they put on shows over there.
Really?
Yeah, they're in the streets for sure.
Wow. Well, shout out to them as well. You know what I'm saying, man? I just find it interesting. So it's interesting how you love New Orleans music because a lot of that sound is really like in the streets.
Dirty. Yeah. We like that. We like that.
I go to New Orleans at least twice a year. I love that city. I've been going out there for the past 13 years.
Never been. Would love to make the pilgrimage for sure.
You have to definitely go to New Orleans, man.
I will. I'm gonna try to go with my band sometime. We'll try.
Don't say try. Don't say try. Say I'm going.
You know what? Yeah, 2025 is our year. We will go to New Orleans.
You gotta go to New Orleans
this year. We will.
There's no way in the world that the band, and it sounds crazy though, but the band has to go through band experiences, and there's no way in the world that you don't touch the soil.
You're damn right. We will.
You have to touch the soil.
We will.
Yeah. So, what position do you play in the band?
Guitarist and lead singer.
So you lead guitarist. So what's your guitar of choice?
I think that the Gibson SG is the greatest guitar ever made. I will fight people on this fact. Very serious about this. I love an SG. I just bought myself a nice
Gibson
SG.
SG.
The SG. It's what Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath played.
Who's that? What's his name?
Tony Iommi.
Tony Iommi, okay, from Black Sabbath.
It's what Angus Young
Ozzy, right?
of AC/DC played.
Okay.
A whole host of Frank Zappa played at SG at one point. A whole bunch of musicians played the SG. I love the SG so much.
Are they expensive?
They can be if you get a Gibson. I don't get a Gibson.
So there's different version SGs.
Well, just like how Fender's got Squire over here.
Yeah,
Gibson.
But me, I don't know the But it was funny. I was actually going to an event at the Jacob Javits Center, I believe, right? And it was a Sam Ash over there. It was some location over there, right? And I walked up in there, and I saw it. And I was talking on the phone, and for some reason, it just said, "Hey."
It called your name.
It said, "Hey." Said,
well, this is a Squire.
I want this one. So when I got into I got to the Jacob Javits Center, I'm in there now, and I'm doing my little normal, just getting around. But I got this guitar box inside the inside where the celebrities are all coming in from being like on the main floor. So they're like, "Whose guitar?" And he's like, "Oh, his." Like he's got a guitar in here, brand new guitar. Like everybody just sitting there, everybody's looking at, "Oh, nice guitar." Oh. Yeah, man. So it's a difference. I don't know the difference. I didn't know the difference.
Well, there's two main brands really that people talk about in the guitar world. Or back in the day, they were the two biggest brands. There's Fender and there's Gibson. Fender. This was a Squire by Fender.
Okay, so you saying yeah, but so that's
Fender and Gibson have proprietary brands. All the only
so
difference
it's like
is
this. So it's like the homies.
they make it overseas for cheaper. That's why they cost less, basically. They make it with less expensive parts.
Cause I told myself, because I was like, okay, you know, when you see names like, okay, I see Fender, so I see by Fender. I don't care. If
Uh-huh.
shit, you like listen. I wear a lot. I wear hats by Polo. I wear scarves by Polo. I wear shirts by Polo. I wear pins by Polo. I
Well, we
wear
were
drawers
talking
by
about it.
Polo.
We were talking about it a little before the show.
Socks.
I said you could get a great guitar for $400 or less, and I mean, I think Squire and Epiphone are pretty great examples of that fact.
My friend came by here when it had all 6 strings on there.
Mhm.
And the reason why they're 2 off right now because the same person, shout out to Ron, love you dog, took these off because he said he's gonna come by and just rewire me up anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like he gets like that's his thing. You know what I mean? He'll come by here and same way how with you. You know, I have 50 people walk by here, and then only 3 people would actually say, like, grab it. You know what I'm saying? Like, grab it and control it and fill it out and be a real musician. You know what I'm saying? So you say Gibson SG,
Yeah.
and that's like your
The SG.
is that like your when it comes to guitars, do you need more than one guitar?
I would like maybe 3 guitars
In your like period.
for
To
most
travel?
purposes. Nah.
For show?
For a show, you probably need 2.
Okay.
At most, you need 2. You might need 1 for one song.
So
Maybe.
so with you and the music that you make, what guitar do you have now?
The SG.
So you have a Gibson SG.
Yeah, I bought I scammed the hell out of Guitar Center. I went to my local Guitar Center and I saw this
You heard him.
beautiful
You heard that
white
shit.
Epiphone SG, and this guitar was $1,000. But I obviously am a broke musician. I'm not paying $1,000 for a piece of wood and some magnets. So I decided that I was gonna, be a loyal customer and go there with $500 cash in my pocket and make a deal with them.
Yeah, okay.
And I went up to the guy and I said, "Excuse me, man, I've been a loyal customer at your establishment for the past, 6 years of me playing guitar. And every time I come in here, I see this beautiful white SG. And every time I come back, it's in the exact same spot I put it. How long has it been here?" He went and checked in his computer. He said it's been there for over a year. And I got him to clearance it for me. So I paid $640 something for that guitar, down from $1,000, which was a great deal.
Oh.
And I got pissed off because then I went back at that same Guitar Center. They were selling another one for $500 something. So they clearanced it anyway.
But that was
at
it.
the time, I was so happy because anytime I walked into that Guitar Center and I played their guitars, I always went back to that white SG. That was the one I wanted. And I got that for a heavily discounted price. So,
Yes. That's a huge discount.
everything is negotiable in this world, But the reason I love a SG so much, SGs have small bodies. This has not really a small body, but a very fairly standard sized guitar body.
Yeah, when I first hold it because I don't know how to play it, it feels like I feel like Willie Nelson. But,
Well, a lot of
like,
country and
I
blues
don't play
people,
like none of
a lot
them,
of country and blues people love Telecasters, so that might be why you feel like Willie Nelson.
Really?
Yeah, they love Telecasters. These are they were often called a country guitar. The Telecaster.
So tell me about this guitar. You tell me, like, what when you see this here in the studio, what do you think of?
Simple but effective. I think that's what a Telecaster is. Telecaster gets the
That's what I
damn
was
job
told.
done.
Yeah, that's what I was told. That right there, it gets the job done. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to have all the tools in the shed, but you have to have some type of tool.
And the Telly's the tool, man. The Telly gets the job done.
If it gets the job done, get the job done. So you do live, you do vocals, and you play guitar. What about the other members?
Jason is another guitarist and vocalist. We kind of share vocal duties. I really liked that because, for example, when I'm playing a lead part, if I need some vocals over it, I could have a backup vocalist, and Jason could be that. But when he joined the band, he was in a band already. He had a band called Miseria.
Shout out to
And
them, I
he
guess.
brought, well, they're not together anymore because he's
Okay.
in our band now. We
Oh,
stole
well,
him.
yeah,
But
that's how that goes.
he brought with him 2 songs that he was writing. And so during the shows, we just let him take over. They're his songs. He sings them.
Nice.
And I think it's just a good, aesthetic vibe.
And that's something that when we talk about Pink Floyd, that's, I believe, what was the missing link. Everyone being able to rock out on what they bring to the forefront.
Sharing the vision.
Sharing the vision. And that's the success. That's one of the most important keys, guys. I'm going to tell you every time. You guys have to share the vision. You know what I'm saying, man? And once you're able to do that, I mean, all these doors just start to open up. So you have 2 members that are doing vocals and rocking
And
out.
guitar,
And
yeah.
guitar.
And Chris is on bass.
Chris is on bass.
He,
The shot caller's on bass.
yes, for sure. Yeah, he was, my mom calls him our band manager.
Yeah, believe that. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, he rocks out on the bass. He's got himself a nice little P bass that he put a whole bunch of Kids Next Door stickers on, so that's a cool thing. And Jorge's on the drums, and we just got a brand new drum set, so he sounds killer right now.
So okay, so Jorge, yeah, that's my dude right there. Jorge, he's on the drums. Okay, like in a band, because I've watched different bands. Like, how does a song get created?
Well, we've been having trouble with that, to be honest with you. We've been stuck at 5-6 songs for a good bit. But recently, we just finished one. And I'll tell you how it happens. What happens generally is somebody else writes a riff, and I decide in my infinite egotism that I could make it better. And then I take it, and I take a day, and I write an entire song. And I'm like, does this sound good, guys? Does this sound good? And they're all like, yeah, it sounds good. So they write the other instruments.
And then yeah, run with it.
They'll run with it.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So that's generally how it goes. I'm kind of a control freak, if you couldn't figure that out. It ends up working.
So are you the only one that writes the music?
No, because Jason...
I know there's different levels of it. Anybody who plays an instrument, you know what I'm saying, is a writer.
Right.
An instrument, writing words is not about just the words on the page. It's every single note, you know what I'm saying, that contributes to creating the actual song.
Well, I do know, I recognize that I kind of have tendencies that make me want to finish it to the end, my whole thing. And I'm like, it got to be done this way, a little perfectionism. Every artist got a little perfectionism, right? But I try to step out of the way sometimes, and I let them contribute like riffs and stuff. Even back, when we first were a 3-piece, just we didn't really even have songs. Our 3rd song, Jorge wrote the riff. Our 1st song, Chris wrote the riff. What's it called? Our 4th song, I wrote the riff, but Chris challenged me to make a song using only 1 note. So I made a riff with 1 note, and that's how that became a thing. So, there's always sharing of duties, which I try to leave room for. Yeah. Especially because I think, if the band becomes AJ's band, then it's no longer a great band. Well, you need co-signing, and you need...
Well, I mean, I look at it, I hear you. I will say that I look at a lot of, I always wonder why certain bands had like the main, because I would see, what's my guy I was listening to, is that Franz
Ferdinand?
Take me out.
Yeah.
That song, right? That's his name.
Well, they're a band. I don't think that's his real name.
That's not his name?
No, that's a historical figure, Franz Ferdinand.
Really?
Some French guy, I think.
You see how much you learn in music every day, right? So I always looked at that because I always thought that was like his name, but then I would see like it was a whole band.
Yeah, no,
But there
indie
are
bands
certain-
just kind of name themselves weird because that's not any of their names.
Because
just
it's certain bands. Like how many bands do you know then that have like a name like Ozzy Osbourne, like in
they're a whole band. Well, that was a little different because that was Ozzy's solo career. He basically hired session musicians. Is all.
That's
he
my
really
point.
did.
So I'm trying to understand now, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's weird like that.
Because Slash is another one.
Mm-hmm.
I know Slash for doing so many different projects.
Right.
He's like Jack White to me.
Mm-hmm.
So many different projects, so many different sounds and riffs and keys and notes and all these different bands and energy and always pushing yourself out there by any means, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that like as a musician, like how do you balance that?
Balance, all the different stuff we could do with, keep a vision intact is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, yes. If that was the case, yes.
I mean, I would generally say that the main vision is that we all kind of agree on certain things that we like. You know what I mean? I tasked my band with making a list of like their top 5 metal albums. And I was like, if we ever get stuck, we should default to this. This is what we should think about. Instead of getting ideas from here and here and here, which you could always do. But if we ever get stuck on these and we're not seeing eye to eye, there's always the old reliable. So
of just the music itself.
yeah,
right?
some of the music that we really
push,
like, we all agree is just like, all right, well, we love this,
so we can always fuck with this. So
exactly.
We can just move in
so
that direction.
Pantera's one, Crowbar is another band. We could flick on like any Pantera record and just be like, yeah, we fuck with that. The whole record, we're just like, yeah, this is the shit.
Got it.
And then you could get ideas from there. We all fuck with it, so that's how you got to be. I think having a middle ground is really useful.
So what do you think makes like I know like I don't know if Ozzy Osbourne's a good example, but how many other band members you know that like they just have like their name? It's like
Ronnie James Dio,
like
I
Tom
think.
Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Yeah. Well, in this context, I think Ronnie James Dio is a good example.
So
About a person who's just had their name as the band.
So Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers is not a good one?
Well, we're talking about metal. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I was just saying as far as it's even and like in bands. So in that case, I never even paid that much attention to that. See, I wouldn't know that world of. So in this case, who would that be?
Ronnie James Dio. You aware of this guy?
No.
Ronnie James Dio was after Ozzy got fired from Black Sabbath. They brought this guy Dio onto the scene.
Got it.
And he was the second Black Sabbath singer. But Black Sabbath's sound completely changed. I mean, it wasn't Black Sabbath anymore, really, even though they still called themselves that. It was Ronnie James Dio's band. Just like how when it was Black Sabbath, it was Ozzy Osbourne's band. And that's how he would make a solo career out of that. But Dio was this lead vocalist. He was a singer in the 70s and the 80s. And they brought him on because even though he was an American guy, he was real close with these British bands. He was with Richie Blackmore from Deep Purple. They had a project called Rainbow. And anyway, after Black Sabbath, Dio made a solo career, just like Ozzy.
Okay.
And many people who we love, Phil Anselmo of Pantera, for example, calls Ronnie James Dio the greatest heavy metal vocalist of all time because of his vocal range. The lead singer kind of just has the identity, That's what people pay attention to sometimes in the heavy metal and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Is how good the vocals sound.
Because
a lot of people are good instrument players, but not many people are blessed with Ronnie James Dio's pipes.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. I'm gonna do a little bit more research on that as well.
I think you'd like Dio.
Well, it's funny because you see, like I'm familiar with like Black Sabbath. I was listening to them this morning. Dun, 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 and I'm vibing out, and I know that's Ozzy at the time.
Yeah, if you were listening to the first 5, 6 records, I
Yes.
believe that was Ozzy. Yeah.
You know you have to
Yep.
learn.
Sabbath, Bloody
Dun,
Sabbath. I
dun,
love that.
dun, dun. So that one, you know what I mean? So me listening to that, and I know Ozzy's sound.
Hmm.
I know that sound just, even without knowing who he was at first, I just knew the sound. I just knew that voice was like, okay, that's him. Like Steven Tyler. There's certain people like Kurt Cobain.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? There's certain people that when you hear them, you just
You know
know.
the identity.
What's my boy name, man? Oh boy, Billy Ray,
Talking about
Green Day,
Green Day,
Green Day,
Billy Joe
Billy
Armstrong.
Joe Armstrong.
Yeah,
I said Billy Ray.
that's your
Shout out to
man.
Billy Ray Cyrus
Yeah.
too. But yeah, man. The when I hear the sound, I know who that is. I just know. I know that that's a part of that cloth. Jack White's another one.
Hmm.
When I hear them vocals, I just know where it's coming from. So my thing is when it comes to y'all, right? What are the plans for SINICYST? What's the next step
As far as like an identity is
as a
concerned
band?
and things like that.
Mhm.
Well, we got a couple of shows lined up. I've been working hard at getting those in order. We have one smaller show. We got it at the Gutter here in Brooklyn. I don't know. I got to figure out where that's at. I'll
Shout
figure
out
it
to the
out.
gutter though.
With some local hardcore bands, but I'm really looking forward to March 15th. We have a show in Yonkers,
Okay.
and we're with a band called Parasite. We're open for them.
Okay.
They're going on a tour across upstate New York. They're starting in Yonkers. They're a Yonkers-based band. And that's going to be really good for us because, any band that's touring like that, that's going to get a whole bunch of recognition,
Yeah.
they're going to look at their bills and they're going to see SINICYST on one.
For
They're
sure.
going to see our logo
That's
and they're going
right.
to see Parasite promoting
Is it gonna
us.
be? Is it gonna be this?
It
Logo
is
right
that
here?
exact logo
Yeah,
that you see on the shirt
exactly.
right there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You see it.
But that's a great step. I've been thinking about hitting up, which I most likely will. There was a band I played with Muerte from Buffalo. And if we get our reach as far as possible, hit them up. We'll try and get a show probably closer to home, probably somewhere in Westchester. That's gonna be great for us. They'll probably have a lot of draw. They'll bring
Yeah.
some people down to
You'll
Westchester.
probably definitely bring a good draw.
So
sure.
that's really the next steps for SINICYST is I'm gonna try and make some connections with some much larger names and get us acquainted. And I'm already kind of getting there because I'm getting some venues acquainted with me as a booker.
All right.
And I put them onto my band. They're all like, hell yeah, I fuck with SINICYST. I love SINICYST. You guys should play here sometime. And I'll be like, I'll think about it, man. I'll think about it. You got to leave them undelivered sometimes and all that.
Well, I know I got my shirt. Does is there a site where they can go get their stuff yet?
There's no site, but if they DM me on Instagram, then I will happily ship one out. They could Cash App,
So we making
PayPal,
these things
that kind of
homemade.
thing.
You're
They're homemade shirts. We don't have a big
in-house
supply.
situation. So that means you know how I go when you're putting your orders in. When you walk into a restaurant or a deli and you say, "Let me get a sandwich," and they grab the bread for you and they cut the meat and the cheese and they breaking the lettuce and tomatoes and onions and breaking everything down live and making it to order, making it fresh.
We do. We make these shirts fresh and in-house.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. You know what I mean? Being fresh and everything being done in-house. Listen, man, we're going to go pay a couple of bills. We're live on set with Irv. We're over here. I got the man of the hour. I got AJ. SINICYST is in the building. Well, the whole band ain't here yet. But when they come in here, that microphone going to be passing. We on the set. Be back.
They'll be here soon.
You love creating. You love music. And you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where Some Entertainment comes in. Guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Some Law knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track, if you know what I mean. With us, no more struggling between the wants and the needs. Get what's essential so you can focus on what matters. Hey, Governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. Photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production. Someone has the experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer, yeah? Call us and take the next step to sharing what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you in the studio. Yeah. Yeah, y'all, we are back live on set with Irv. I got AJ here in the studio, the band SINICYST. We're here figuring it all out. And speaking about figuring it all out, sir,
Mm.
the infamous guitar tones. What's that
Yeah.
all about?
Yeah. So Jorge in particular doesn't like that I don't shut the fuck up about my guitar tone and all the different shit I'm doing to it. I was talking to him when we were at work and he was like, please don't change the tone again. Please don't do it. But I did it anyway. It came out great. So when Jason joined the band, we needed another guitar amp because before we had one. Now we have two guitar players, and I only had one guitar amp. So I was like, well, I need to make some shit work because we're not going to do two guitar players and one amp.
Went to Sweetwater?
Well, okay. So I had a buddy.
Uh-huh.
This particular friend of mine worked in a studio.
Nice.
And they were selling a bass speaker, not a guitar speaker, for $250, which I thought was a great deal considering if I was to buy a speaker new for a guitar, you know, a nice like 4x10, 4x12.
500?
Yeah, man, like fucking $600 on one of these for no reason, because for a bunch of speakers and a piece of wood. So I was like, you know what? I'll make that shit work. You know what I mean? And originally the plan was, because I was the lead guitarist, I would have the guitar amp that I already had, and Jason would get the bass cabinet. But the more I was tweaking with it, the more I was finding new things I could do with this bass cabinet with the guitar going through it. And, you know, I figured out, or me and the audio engineer person figured out, it doesn't have 4 speakers. It has 5 speakers. It has a 4x10 and a 5th
In the middle.
in the middle, a 5-inch speaker, a little tiny one. And the little tiny one was where all the high frequencies were coming from. And so I deduced that the 4 were bass. The little guy was treble. And I was like, well, that separation is going to make a hell of a crunch, and it's going to sound brutal when I work my magic through that. So I did, and I ran an overdrive pedal through it, and I ran an EQ pedal to scoop the mids a little bit. But what I ended up with was, I thought, the best guitar tone I have ever heard, and it's still getting improved to this day. I think the speaker revelation is going to change, you know, how metal players EQ their guitars, because way more than the amp, the speakers really matter. I've played terrible amps through good speakers and they sound great. I've played great amps through terrible speakers. They sound terrible.
Really?
The speakers matter a whole bunch because the speakers are really where all your frequencies are coming from.
Jeez. You be knowing about all of those different things, you know what I mean?
I figured it out through trial and error. That's kind of where the infamous guitar tone is coming from. Because, you know, when I started, I mean, I was like, damn, this sounds like shit. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. But I figured out all different ways I could play with that little treble speaker. So, for example, you take this guitar over here. There's a tone knob right there. There's a volume. There's a tone knob. The tone, all the tone does generally is it's a high pass filter. If you took tone off, all it takes is high frequencies. It makes more high frequencies go to ground on the guitar. If I lower my tone knob, that speaker turns off. I can control the volume of one speaker with one of my guitar knobs and the other 4 with the other one. So a whole bunch of, revelations came after that. I was all like, well, if I turn the tone to like, maybe 5 instead of 10, I turn it on to like 5, I won't get the pick scraping noise that you're gonna get if it's on. The real high, the annoying stuff, the noise. I could reduce the noise. I would still have high crunch frequencies because they don't have a little speaker for separation. And it's gonna come together real nice, and it did. And I mean, it was a whole learning experience. I've been developing that tone for like 2.5, 3 months, just sitting there playing with the amp in my shed, blowing out my ears. But
did you put little earplugs in your ear?
I had to start now. Yeah.
Listen, especially if you put on doing this for a long time.
Yeah, and especially because as well, playing at different volumes really does affect how the EQ sounds through the speakers.
Yo, listen, man, my Apple Watch would be like, you are over 90 dBs. You need to.
Yeah, well, that's why I started putting the earplugs in.
Tone it down.
But it all worked out really good, and what I ended up with was I had this separation. Right, I have some really low frequencies hitting, and I have some really high frequencies hitting through the separation speakers. They're not all coming from the same speaker 4 times. They're coming from 2 different kinds of speakers. It makes a lot of separation, and it paired really well with Jason's other guitar amp that we just got because he's hitting all the frequencies that I'm scooping out with that separation. He's in the middle, and I'm in the bottom and the top.
Yeah, just rocking the hell out.
And we're rocking the hell out. It sounds massive in there. I mean,
that was the timer, but
that's basically how the infamous guitar tone came to be, and it's only getting better. So if you come to a SINICYST show, get ready to, get shit blown off. It's brutal in there.
Yeah, the same way how these damn lights are blowing the hell out because we're on a damn timer. We're live on set. We're gonna fix this back, but we're in the studio, and if you ain't blowing your lights out somehow, some way, you ain't really, really figuring out the studio, because when you're in the studio, this shit happens every day.
You're damn right.
Get back. So you love creating, you love music, and you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where Sumlaw comes in. These guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Sumlaw knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track. With us, there's no more struggling between wants and needs. They get what's essential so you can focus on what matters. Hey, the governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. So, photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production, Sumlaw has the experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer. Call us and take the next step to share what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you guys in the studio. Yeah, we're back live on set with Irv. We're here in the studio. We're moving really, really quick with things, but we're here figuring it out. And I got my boy AJ here on set. Sir, you got a thing with nerds. What's up with that?
I do have a thing with nerds.
What's up with that? I'm curious now, because I heard a little bit.
I used to be a nerd. I used to play a lot of video games. I used to hang out with nerds. I'm not a fan of nerds.
So you don't consider yourself to be a nerd anymore?
No, and I'll tell you why I don't consider
Once a nerd, always a nerd.
What?
You heard?
A nerd's always a nerd?
You heard?
I did hear it. What?
You don't think so?
So I think a nerd is really a mentality more than it is a set of attributes, and I'll tell you why. Because when I was hanging out with people who played video games, I used to go to tournaments. There's places in Manhattan. There's places here in Brooklyn. You play tournaments for video games for money, but not even for money, but just local. You play with people, you have fun. Yo, nerds are kind of stupid people, depending. So, music nerds are one thing. I've met my fair share of, annoying and not annoying music nerds. Maybe that's my bias.
But a lot of musicians are nerds.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't like all musicians.
I don't like all musicians either.
There you go. Maybe you don't like the nerds. Listen, when I was playing video games, there were a lot of people. First of all, when you play video games, there's a lot of musty people that don't take care of themselves, so I didn't like that. But that doesn't really have much to do with nerds. But a lot of nerds, in particular, will make you feel bad for not knowing things. You know what I mean? Get what I'm picking up what I'm putting down?
Well, no, I mean, you have to give me a little... Wait, what's slice now?
Hell yeah. Well, now we're brighter.
Feel better now, right?
Yeah.
Like, we was a little bit in the dark.
Yeah.
I think we need to bring that back.
Feeling less nerdy.
Feeling less nerdy?
Yeah.
I don't know if I put some light on that, though. But you see, these are what the steps are all about here in the studio, man. You know what I'm saying? What did you learn about, doing these gigs and being on the road and traveling?
Teamwork, mostly. Because when I was in school, whenever they gave us group projects, I was really the kid that did the work, didn't want to work with anybody, so I just did the whole thing. You know what I mean? I didn't really like working with people, so I had a vision. I stuck to it, and I was like, I had a one-track mind. I don't want other people kind of ruining my flow, so I stuck with that. But working with a band, you can't do that. That's not how it works.
If you plan on defining success,
you need help, and more
help.
importantly, you need people skills. You need to work with people, and I didn't have those. So I learned real quick that you don't get anywhere by yourself. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's why I even like being on the set. Though people see me, it look like I'm a one-man band, but there's a lot of moving pieces that's occurring, you know what I'm saying, in real time. A lot of moving pieces of equipment, people, different structures. Yeah, that's how it goes, man. So, learning how to work with in the band is...
That was the big important one, was working with people. I wasn't a people person. Now I think I've kind of matured a little bit, grown a little older, got a little more experience, and you get to meet more people, meet more better people, people on your wavelength, and you grow into more of a people person. But back in high school, I wasn't. I hated everybody.
So, what could we expect from you in 2025? Like
2025 from me specifically.
Yeah, from AJ. I mean, you can mention SINICYST, you can mention whatever you want, but what could people expect from you? Well,
first of all, definitely SINICYST's first album coming out by the end of the year, for sure. Not even a fucking question. We got 2 more songs to go, and we're hitting the stew. It's done. It's over.
Yeah.
We're tearing that up. We're gonna take over New York.
Listen, man, you guys are a talented group of men. I love what you guys. I love your sound. I respect you as an artist, as a creator.
Appreciate it.
I know it's not easy. It doesn't supposed to be easy. You know what I'm saying, man? But, you can tell a lot about one's work ethic, and you putting in the work. You're showing the dedication. You're putting in the work. And that's
we
what
all are.
separates you.
I'm proud of my boys. They're all doing, great things.
Now, listen, man, shout out to all you guys, man. Shout out to each and every one of you guys. You guys are really, really defining success in the punk rock world. That's just not easy to get into. There's a lot of bands out there. Like what so like besides the SINICYST album, is that coming in like second quarter, third quarter, fourth,
I'll be optimistic. I'll say third.
third?
I'll say third.
So that means like fall time,
Should be
end
something
of
like
summer,
that. Yeah. Yeah.
when it starts to get cold
Yeah,
again.
I mean, I'm
the
thinking
hoodies come back
about
on.
our first demo was released October 2024.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about just releasing it then, recording it, and then no matter what happens, I'm gonna drop it October and take that as like an anniversary of our first demo was the first album.
Nice.
That should be that's how I'm seeing it. But yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic. I think we could get it done even sooner.
What else? What else could we expect from you?
Well, like I said, I've been marketing myself in a whole bunch of other ways. I'm trying to be a booker. If you guys in the heavy metal world trying to get your band going, I know a couple of spots. I know a couple of bands. I could help get you going. I could get you a show. I'll teach some guitar lessons. I'm a student at Berkeley. I know some music theory. I'll teach people. I'm a man of many different skills.
You didn't talk about that. Why?
I didn't talk. Well, to be honest, I kind of hate school, to be honest. And there's been a lot of videos,
But Berkeley's a big deal. You know that.
It is a big deal.
So then why didn't you talk about that?
I don't see it as a major part of my identity, even though,
Berkeley?
the face you're making, it should appear as though I should. But I'll tell you.
Oh, no, I only a few model bitches in my lifetime, a few.
Just a couple hundred.
There's a couple hundred. What are you talking about, sir?
Well, Berkeley did do a lot of good things for me.
What'd you go to Berkeley for?
I'm currently in for songwriting and music production.
So then why wouldn't you mention that if you are a musician?
Well, one of my big experiences with Berkeley, which I remember due to being my second semester, it was very early into my Berkeley career, is I took a songwriting class as per my degree. And the teacher asked us a question. He said, "What is the difference between a verse and a chorus in a song?" That's what he asked the whole class.
Okay, well,
the whole class had a whole bunch of answers.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
a lot of them were like the
verse,
chorus is the energetic part. That's the part where the song heats up.
Sometimes.
Exactly. That's not a catch-all answer.
Yeah, I mean, but it'd be like
a lot of kids.
But some would say it's the hook.
A lot of kids.
The hook that the chorus. I would say it's the chaos.
A lot of kids, they said it was the hook.
Yeah.
That reels you in. That's not always the case.
Not always either.
A lot of kids, they said that the chorus was, the something that rhymes. They had a whole bunch of answers that they weren't catch-all answers. But I raised my hand. The teacher called on me, and I was like, "Well, pardon me, professor, but in my humble opinion, as an amateur musician, I think that the defining feature of the chorus is that it's not the verse." And he said, "Anthony, that's a great answer. That's a wonderful answer. Guys, the verse and the chorus are not the same. They shouldn't sound the same."
They shouldn't at all.
So I found out from Berkeley that a lot of songwriting concepts that they were going to teach me are really for people that had no concept of songwriting. And I had developed that concept from listening to my music.
I get what you're saying.
And writing my own music. And there were some tips that I got. I took a counterpoint class and it helped.
That's a good point.
But a lot of the things that make you a good musician you don't really get taught them.
That's the reason.
You learn them.
That's like what I was saying. That's why when I listen to podcasts, I do a lot of listening while I'm setting up lights. Or I do a lot of the groundwork. You know what I'm saying? You learn these things, look at the 2 cameras blew out already, right? You know what I'm saying?
But we're still here.
You know what I'm saying? And we're in your face. You know what I'm saying? But it goes to show that, that's what makes us so good because we're kind of learning on the job.
And I think learning on the job is like kind of the main thing you need to do to grow as a musician.
That's the only way you're going to be able to survive because you can read all the books in the world, but until you get the actual experience.
Exactly.
You don't know what the real world reality is going to be. And that's out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's going to be out of your control. And the question is, how do you stay in control even when you're dealing with the chaos? For those who know in Latin, ordo ab chaos is the order out of chaos. How do you find your structure? And speaking of structure, I wake up in the morning, I go off for the 3 R's, my routines, my rituals, my responsibilities. If you don't mind me asking, what are your 3 R's? Your routine, what's your routine?
My routine usually is try to get some fresh air first thing in the morning. Not always go for a walk, but just like, sometimes you have a coffee on the step.
So you're a coffee lover?
I love coffee.
Oh.
I'm trying to have less caffeine.
I make the best coffee, just so you know.
Oh, do you?
Well, just speaking of New Orleans, my coffee is Cafe Du Monde.
Really?
From New Orleans. So if you
I'm
like,
I'm gonna have to try that.
I'll make you a cup whenever you're ready. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
In
yeah.
house, believe that. You know what I'm saying? But
Hell yeah. But
with chicory and all, chicory root and all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But getting some fresh air is really a main thing, cause when I was younger and I played a lot of video games and I stayed inside and I practiced my bass and all that other stuff, I wasn't getting that much sun. So I kind of make it a point now to get some vitamin D, get some fresh air, and just being outside kind of makes you grateful. It makes you feel alive. It makes you feel alive.
Some self-care.
Yeah.
You got to show some love to yourself first and foremost.
And then, like when I smoked, I had a cigarette or something.
Mm-hmm.
Not always, but sometimes, coffee and a cigarette just feels good. But yeah, I mean,
sounds like a good song.
I would say my main morning ritual is just to kind of find something to be grateful for. Be grateful to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing, and then I'll have my breakfast right after.
Well, speaking of grateful, is anybody that you care to give a shout out to, or you want to show some love to?
Yeah, I mean, I love my band. I'll give a shout out to all my band members. I'll give a shout out to my previous band members too. I learned a lot of things when I was with Muerte Permanente.
For real.
Even if we didn't see eye to eye on everything, it was a great experience. I'm grateful for it.
But that's what bands are supposed to do. You don't realize, like we was talking from before, you're gonna go a part of a lot of different situations to see where you land.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure out where you land. You know what I'm saying, man? And that's the thing where, some people say some people coming for a reason, for a season, that old cliche saying that people saying shit. But I'm saying when they say that, I believe it's more of the, you know how many people call my phone saying, yo, I want studio time?
Uh-huh.
And some who actually is more people who just don't versus those who do get the job done. But then again, people come in to show you also what you need to do in the next situation. Like, even like me, I know damn well I gotta have, like we were saying, with the new cameras that come in, they're gonna be running on 8K. This won't even be the same setup anymore.
Moving up, upgrading.
A whole new world.
Uh-huh.
And everybody that was a part of it now get to, reap the benefits of when we get to the bigger spaces and the higher plateaus, because everybody's not going to be able to come with us. And everybody can't go with you. It's impossible. But you can learn something on the way. And if you learn something, that's sometimes the blessing right there. For real, though.
It is.
Yeah, man. Who else, man? Anything else?
Yeah, I thank God and I thank my parents. My parents always believed in me, which is a luxury not many people get, which I have to be grateful for and proud of.
That for a fact. I know your mom's for sure.
Yep. Everybody really in my family, they always had a lot of faith in me. And, some people, they don't get that luxury. They have to go through it all themselves. I have great family. I have very good friends now that support me and everything. And, I generally think everybody I let into my life currently, they're good people. They're here to support me, and I'm grateful for that. So all my friends, everybody watching who may see this, may not see this, I'm grateful for y'all too.
Listen, man, we're live on set, and you're an amazing talent. I wish you, nothing but success in all your endeavors. I hope that, just know that you have a platform to pull up solo And with the boys.
And with the boys, yep.
Let's see it.